Kent start well with Bell-Drummond's ton. Hampshire headed to the Spitfire ground in Canterbury off the back of an innings defeat to Surrey. Kent too had fallen at the hands of their opponents. Lancashire chased down a paltry total on day 4 last time out, so both sides were looking to bounce back from poor results. The hosts won the toss and chose to bat, but England's Zach Crawley wouldn't last too long. His score just 7 when Abbas's delivery found an edge through to Brown for the breakthrough. But the early wicket didn't become momentum for Hampshire. Bell-Drummond and Compton held firm, and then they started to make their own mark on the innings. 50 runs on the board, and they didn't look back as the session wore on. They began to pile on the runs, accelerating with lunch looming, and the boundaries started to come thick and fast. It was Bell-Drummond who was the aggressor of the two, and before long he'd raced his way to a 50 off 78 balls, 40 of which he'd scored by finding the ropes. At lunch, with the score 97 for 1, despite the early wicket, it looked a good toss to win for Kent. Bell-Drummond took them to 3 figures after the break, a single off Abbott sufficient to get them there. But Hampshire were about to hit back, starting with his partner. Barker found the space between bat and pad. Compton's off stump removed. Mayeye too fell to Barker. Brown quick across the ground to take the catch down the leg side. Bell-Drummond continued though, defiant against the potent Hampshire attack, and with his 19th 4 of his innings, he reached his 100, scored off 160 balls and greeted by an emphatic punch of the air by the man from Lewisham. Cox took the hint. Crane lofted over the ropes for 6. Kent were wrestling hard for control. And the 4th wicket partnership was doing the job well, reaching 50 runs after almost an hour and a half together, and it was still unbroken at tea. The score now 177 for 3, Bell-Drummond unbeaten on 106. Bell-Drummond kept going after the break, guiding his side past the 200 mark and giving the visiting bowlers more cause for frustration, and he looked to be enjoying himself. Organ dispatched over the ropes for 6. Cox too looked in fine touch, and with this bludgeoned boundary to the ropes, he'd taken the value of the 4th wicket partnership to 100 runs. With the score nearing 250 and Bell-Drummond thinking about 150, Abbott struck. The number 3 trapped in front for 149. He'd have to watch on from the dressing room as his long-time partner Cox delightfully drove Abbas through the covers to reach 50 off 142 balls. Robinson then took Kent past 250 but wouldn't manage to do much more. Barker with a 3rd. The Kent keeper caught behind, much to his frustration. It proved to be 50 and out for Cox. The catch straight forward for Vince off the bowling of Abbas. The tail was now starting to be exposed. Milnes fell before the close of play, a 4th wicket for Barker. He was caught low by Dawson in the slips, the day finishing with Kent 271 for 7. It had been an even first day at the Spitfire ground. Both sides departed the field of play with reasons to be cheerful, but both will be determined to take the game by the scruff of the neck when they resume on day 2.